Okay, in this tutorial, we're going to look at how you can use both aerial photographs and Ordnance Survey maps to better understand a landscape. This is also a key skill in geography where you use an Ordnance Survey map to identify key features that are highlighted on an aerial photograph. So in front of you, you are looking at an aerial image taken by an aeroplane looking directly down on a landscape. And we can see, cutting right down the middle of our screen, a dark blue area, as well as a dark blue area over here. Now, the aerial photograph doesn't necessarily indicate what that is. If we turn to the Ordnance Survey map of the same area, we can see that there's a light blue color, and also over here there's a light blue color. Now, if we looked at our key, we would notice that indicates a body of water. As a matter of fact, we can actually see over here that the word loch, indicating that this is a loch, as well as this. If we go back to our map, there are a few other things that we can start to understand about our landscape. For example, what is the terrain or the relief of the landscape? The problem with aerial photographs is they're just flat and they give us no indication about the relief. And the relief means the height and the shape. If we flick to the map, we can see that actually we are in a mountain landscape with a very steep gradients. Here are the steep sides of what is a U-shaped valley. And actually the height of the land is quite high. We can see over here a hill of 655 meters. If we go back to the aerial photograph, that means that this hill over here, this point here, is 655 meters above sea level. Over here, this is a steep mountain slope, and we know that because the contours are very close together on the Ordnance Survey map. Another piece of information we can get is there are certain land uses we can probably figure out what they are by looking at the aerial photograph. So we can see that this is an area of forestry. But the question is, what type of forestry? If we go to the Ordnance Survey map, we can see the small little pine tree symbol, which indicates that this is an area of coniferous forestry. Also, because the lines are quite straight on the forestry edge, that would indicate it's probably a plantation. The map also indicates a green line running down the western side of the loch, which would be the symbol for an A-class road. And if we match that to the aerial photograph, we can see that road moving down the edge of the map. A few other little things that we can identify in our map. For example, we seem to have some feature here, which if we just zoom in a little bit, we have a building with some pipes coming down the side of the mountain. If we go to have a look at the Ordnance Survey map, we can maybe identify what that is. It happens to be a power station, which in this case is actually a hydroelectric power station. This little area of land has a viewpoint and a picnic site on it. We know that because of the symbols. We go to, you can see that that corresponds with this little area here. And there happens to be a little car park on the aerial photograph as we zoom in. And there's clearly a picnic site there with a viewpoint for people to see across the loch. One final thing, if we look at our aerial photograph, is we have the front of our loch here seems to be quite straight, which is very unusual. Nature doesn't tend to work in straight lines. If we go to the Ordnance Survey map, we can see that this is a dam that has been built across the valley to create this loch. We can also see there is a footpath here. This happens to be the Great Trossachs Path, and it joins up down here with another footpath called the West Highland Way, which is Scotland's longest long-distance footpath. And if we go to the image, we can see that this path, one path must be coming down out of the mountain here and joined up with another one running along the valley side. So that's how you can use Ordnance Survey maps along with aerial photographs to identify the key features that are on an aerial photograph.